Connor Rogers here at the NFL Combine alongside Joshua Perry and Zakee Wheatley, safety out of Penn State. Man, the first thing that jumps out on tape, you were asked to do so many different things. We see snaps in the slot, in the box, free safety. What was your role like for the Nittany Lions defense?
Yes, sir. So for me personally, I just feel like I was a Swiss Army knife. Had a new DC come in, so just coming in with that mindset to be able to help the team in any way possible, whether that was being in the box, blitzing, covering the slot, or being in the post.
You mentioned new DC, Jim Knowles. He's a guy who's known for having a complex defense, guys moving around a lot. What was the learning process like for you in getting into the new defense?
It was great for me. Like I said, I had 4 DC, so I was pretty used to, learning new defenses and getting equipped to that. So having Jim Knowles in the defense with his complex, I think it prepared me a lot for the league.
So we've heard your birthday's in 2 days.
Yes, sir.
What is it like having a birthday at maybe the biggest job interview of your life?
It's a blessing. It's a lot. Won't really be celebrating it, but I'll be celebrating it here on the field.
Yeah.
And just enjoying my time here.
You need to tell your agent to get you a birthday cake or something. You got to celebrate.
Sure.
When you walked up, the first thing I said to you is you look like a linebacker. I mean,
Right,
you've got
yes.
great size. Like how big of a tool is that for you on the football field?
I think it's a great tool, big tool. Playing safety, in the Big Ten, it requires you.
Oh, yeah.
Be tough and be resistant and durable, and I think that helps a lot with me, just like avoiding injuries. I've never missed a game at Penn State in 5 years, so I think that's a big part of it, just being strong.
We've seen year after year the Penn State guys show up here, and
Yeah.
it's just wild, the strength and conditioning program they have. How is that giving you a head start on this process?
A ton. I give a big props to Chuck Losey, the head strength. He's now at Virginia Tech, Coach Franklin, but throughout my time there, he got me right. So that's credit to him, credit to my work ethic, and just working hard.
It was a weird year for Penn State, obviously, with the preseason expectations and then the way that things played out. In the locker room, what kind of role did you play in keeping guys mentally involved, and how did you handle all that?
Just being myself, being a leader.
Yeah.
I've been at Penn State for 5 years, so I've seen the best of Penn State.
Yep.
And this year was the lows, but just make sure everybody know the standard, the culture of Penn State, and reminding everyone throughout the week.
I'll say, like, watching tape of you guys and covering the Big Ten Conference, like, you guys played hard every single game. By the end of the year, you could certainly see the improvement there. So I'll say it's a credit to guys like you, leaders in the locker room, that you were able to stay on it.
Yes, sir.
Is there anything you could, positive you could take away from that adversity, though? I know nobody wants to go into a season and suffer some losses, but now you look back and go, you know what, I was able to learn this from that kind of year.
Definitely, coming to the year, everyone's plans and goals was to win a national championship, and we worked really hard to do that. So, facing these challenges, it just taught you, keep your head down, perseverance, and at the end of the day, when you strap up your cleats, you're doing it for the love of the game.
We mentioned the versatility that you have on the field. You've also got really good range. So, talk to us about your ability to eat up space on the field.
Yes, sir. I think that's a credit to my father. He put me in sports at a young age.
Yeah.
I played baseball, basketball, and soccer, played in the outfield, so I think that helps my range a lot.
Was there a time where you were leaning to maybe go further with one of those sports instead, or has it always been football?
Truly, football has always been my first love. I played baseball and basketball in high school as well.
Yeah.
I think basketball was the closest one to that, but my father always said, would you rather be a 6'3" point guard or a 6'3" DB, so that always stuck with me.
Yeah, that's good
6'3"
advice.
DB is,
Dad knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, we like those guys
Yeah.
around here. So tell me, training for the Combine, very different than what you do as a football player. So you break down the day-to-day and how you're getting through your training.
Yes, sir. So I'm currently training in San Diego right now. So I'm from Maryland, so the weather change is nice.
San
right
Diego
now.
is beautiful.
Definitely. It's a lot of recovery, a lot of different training, a lot of high tense muscles. It's different than going in the weight room and putting 400 on your back, but more about how can you use your strength for explosion. So all that's been super nice and been a blessing.
So we've read that you'd like to get your MBA eventually.
Yes, sir.
What are your aspirations outside of football?
Just business. I'm trying to be entrepreneurship. I got my degree in telecommunications right now from Penn State. So using that and using my connections, Penn State has one of the biggest alumni in the country.
Yeah.
So just using that and who I am as a person and my degree to further my career outside of football.
Is there a certain kind of business you'd want to start?
Not necessarily. I'm still looking into that part.
So you mentioned the alumni base. You also got a ton of guys from that program who've been in the league. Are there any dudes that you talk to in your preparation for the Combine and ultimately going into the NFL?
Yes, sir, all the time. Tig, Jair Brown.
Yeah.
That was a big role model.
He was one of
leader.
my favorites.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir, and leader for me. Great dude. Me and him talk all the time. And I can go to people close to my age, like last year, Kevin Winston and Jalen Reed.
Yep.
just having those guys that was in the safety room and being able to lean on and talk to them during this process has been a big blessing.
So are you one of 7 siblings?
Yes, sir.
How much does that help having that? Like, is that a competitive environment growing up?
Definitely.
Yeah.
You know, growing up, it was a competitive household.
Right.
So whether it was football or checkers or shooting the basketball, I can name it, tackling, you know, everything was about being competitive. You know, even my sister, I always say, you know, she's tougher than most boys just because, you know, she had the opportunity to be in the house with me and my brothers.
6 boys and.
Oh no, so I have a younger brother and younger sister who's blood.
Oh, okay.
My dad remarried, so I got 7 siblings now.
Yeah.
Where are you in the birth order?
All right, so out of my blood, I'm the oldest, and I'm the second oldest.
Okay.
Right
All
now.
right. Hey,
Yeah.
You
So
take
they
on
get-
a little bit of a
they get to
leadership
look
role
up to
that
you.
way.
Yeah. Man, Zakee Wheatley, man, we've loved watching you play. We can't wait to see what you do at the next level, and we really appreciate you stopping
Appreciate
by.
you guys a lot.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.